It is time for us to tell the people exactly what we think will determine this game. We talked about the storylines on both sides, talked quarterbacks, talked defense. Now, looking at the keys to victory for the Colts. Obviously, the defense has struggled. There's injuries on the offensive side of the ball. What do you think the Colts need to do in this game to come out with a victory on the road?
I'll be honest with you, man. Just maybe get a stop on defense. Like, just give me like one or two, maybe, and I'd be pretty happy. Give me a couple turnovers, maybe. But like being all serious, like it really comes down to what are we getting from the Colts defense? Because I feel confident enough in the offense. Now, again, Downs and Pittman and Taylor are all banged up, so we'll see if if they don't go, then it might be a completely different story. But I feel confident enough in the Colts offense, regardless of who's playing at quarterback, whatever, just because Shane Steichen's that good and the coaching staff on that side of the ball is that good. I feel confident they can get, around 20 points or so, or get you enough points where you should have a chance at winning the football game.
Right.
I don't know if this defense can limit the other team enough to win the game. Like, we just saw Joe Flacco had the best game of his near 20-year NFL career. And what was the result? A loss. To an 0-4 team. To an 0-4 team, right? Like,
yeah.
And Tank Bigsby having whatever he wanted in the fourth quarter. Trevor Lawrence having anything he wanted. I mean, 2nd and 24, backed up, throw a 60-yard pass over the top of your defense. Like, I don't know if they could even stop the local college team near me. It's James Madison Dukes. Like, I don't know if they could stop James Madison Dukes from scoring. I saw JMU put up 70 earlier this year, so they might not be able to stop JMU. But like, it really comes down to what are we getting from this Colts defense? If we're like, I don't even care if we have some coverage busts, as long as the fundamentals are better and they're actually making their tackles and stopping things underneath from turning 2-yard gains into 10-yard gains. That's fine. Or the inverse, like if you can sit over the top and allow no explosives and just make Will Levis have to go 15 plays on you every single drive, sure. Eventually he's going to dive to the ground and throw a 360 shot into the end zone. Like,
for sure.
Like that's fine. Like, but it can't be every single thing. So it can't be explosives, missing tackles, can't stop the run, and can't stop the pass. Like, you can't win football games that way. I know it's very self-explanatory. So really the biggest key is, can this defense do anything right in this game? Because that is really what we're coming off of in this Jacksonville game, where they did not do a single thing correct. Like, they had 2 turnovers, I guess. Woohoo. Like, great job on those 2. But outside of that, they did nothing right in this past game. So can they do anything right? And then on offense, can they overcome the injuries? Offensive line injuries, quarterback injury, running back injury, now wide receiver injuries popping up. That's really the biggest key, is like, if those guys miss, can they overcome that and get enough? But I feel more comfortable in that. I feel more confident in that. I feel more confident in Ashton Doolin doing something at wide receiver and Tanner Bortolini at center than I do on the $10 million guys they have on defense doing anything, Yeah. So it really comes down to this Colts defense. It doesn't matter which offense it is. Like, I don't care. All your comments will be like, no, Will Levis and Mason Rudolph, they've been struggling. It doesn't matter. Justin Fields threw over 300 against this defense. Caleb Williams over 300. Trevor Lawrence nearly 400 this past week. It doesn't matter who you are. They will give you your 300 yards if you can take advantage of it. So what kind of defense are we getting from the Colts this week? If they can at least be adequate, I think the Colts can get a win. That's really the biggest key to this game.
You know what? I think part of the problem is, and obviously you would know, but Gus Bradley's scheme is not super disguised. It's not super complex. He does what he does. He runs what he runs, and we're going to make it simple on guys. And when you have the personnel issues that they're having right now on defense, you can't play that way. You have to win with coaching, not win with talent when you have a lack of talent. So for me, it's like the taking advantage of that. The Titans need to attack downfield. That's what Will Levis, all these quick timing, short passes that Brian Callahan wants to run and make the system. I hear you. I get it. But the Colts are banged up, and they're not going to have their full form pass rush and their best version of the defensive line. So the Titans offensive line should be able to be better. Attack down the field. Make this 5th string, 6th string, cornerbacks. The safeties have actually been pretty solid for the Colts. It seems like Nick Cross has been good in the run, it seems like. But like the outside corners are an abomination. It's probably the worst group in the NFL right now. Attack them. Maybe you don't complete every pass, but maybe you get a DPI. Maybe Calvin Ridley makes a Houdini-like catch like he made against the Jets. Like, attack down the field on early downs. Attack. Let Levis throw it deep. That's where he's most comfortable, is just on corking deep passes. And you're right. The Titans can't go 15 plays, death by 1,000 paper cuts. They can't play that way. Levis is going to make mistakes, or they're just not going to have the down-to-down efficiency that you have to operate that way. You got to hit big explosive plays. I would attack down the field often and early. And on the defensive side of the ball, to me, it's not allowing explosive plays in the pass game. The Titans' middle of the field coverage with Kenneth Murray. Oh, my Lanta, Kenneth Murray. But no shock. He's been one of the worst coverage linebackers in the NFL his entire career. So, of course, he is now. Ernest Jones is a better linebacker, but he's still not great in coverage. He's a blitzing linebacker. That's what they both are, which means going downhill, not backwards, to play in coverage. So I worry about Josh Downs over the middle of the field. If I'm the Titans, I'm playing man coverage. I'm playing man. I'm playing cover one all day. I'm going to have Amani Hooker drop down over the middle of the field as the hook defender, as the intermediate zone. I'm going to have Quandre Diggs back deep, and I'm going to say we're not letting Josh Downs go against a linebacker. We're not letting Alec Pierce have a one-on-one down the sideline in cover 4. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to have a safety back deep, and I'm going to play Josh Downs with Roger McCreary in man. I'm not letting the Colts find these disadvantages and hit these big plays. Like, I'm playing man with safety help. Let L'Jarius Sneed take Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman isn't going to burn you deep. That's like not his game. So put Sneed on Pittman, or put JBJ, Titans rookie cornerback, Jarvis Brownlee Jr. from Louisville. Put him on Michael Pittman and let L'Jarius Sneed take Pierce to try to take away those deep shots, because Pierce has been so good this year. And then you put Roger McCreary, who's a really solid slot corner, one-on-one against Josh Downs. Let the safety help on the intermediate crossers with Josh Downs, and let the deep safety, Quandre Diggs, help with the Alex Pierce deep shots. And then we rock with that. I'm playing man coverage all day long and seeing what happens, regardless of who the quarterback is, because we could see, whether it be Flacco or Richardson, they're going to be able to throw deep. So take deep shots of your own, limit the explosive plays with man coverage, with zone help on the two guys you got to help on. And ultimately, I'm going to keep making it my third key to victory for the Titans until they can prove that they don't do it. Stop making the stupid mistake, Will. Just stop. All 4 games, a stupid mistake. If he keeps doing that, they're not going to win. This isn't the JV Dolphins.
Yeah. One thing I will say really quick before we get out of here is I love that you mentioned the linebacker play for the Titans there, especially in coverage. The one thing Shane Steichen is really good at is exploiting bad linebacker coverage. Like, the Colts' best passing games this year, against the Pittsburgh Steelers, they went after those 2 linebackers that were just not up to snuff in coverage. They went after Ventrell Miller a lot last week with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Back in week 1, though, against the Houston Texans, the offense wasn't very efficient. Azeez Al-Shaair, who, oh my gosh, he has been a stud this year. I know I might be hurting some of you guys, but I watched the film of that game and a couple other games from him. He might be the second best linebacker in football behind Fred Warner, like, for my money. Like, he is so good. He is so, so good. So, like, when you have a guy who can play like that in the middle of the field against this Colts defense, it takes away a lot of their passing stuff, because they love to get downs on those linebackers. They love to exploit with high lows, with tight ends and downs, and, meshes and crosses and stuff like that. So it's going to test your linebackers a lot. So your plan, honestly, have a lot of man coverage. Now, again, it might leave guys on an island with a player like Pierce who can stack and run with the best of them, but it might be a better alternative than having Downs catch 10 passes for 80 yards and convert every single third down for a first down.
I'll put the game on our corners. If our corners get beat all game and that's how we lose, then all right. But I'm not putting the fate of the game in the hands of our linebackers in pass coverage. I'm just not doing that.